Okay, here's day 2. If you missed the first part of this interview, I'm going to link it above. Please go have a look. Lots of interesting stuff we covered there. Here's the second half, and stay through to the end. There's an awesome giveaway.
So you sew everything yourself.
Yes.
How much stock then do you hold, or are you creating by demand?
I create by demand, so that's something I've sort of decided recently. I do small batches of certain styles that I know will sell well.
Yeah.
And that are flexible in the sizing as well. But because I mostly sell online, I make most things to order.
Wow.
So a lot of my clients will not even pick a size. They'll just send me their measurements.
Wow.
Yeah, I have
So
a
cool.
handy dandy little how to measure kind of chart.
Yeah.
So they'll measure themselves, they'll send me their measurements, and then any requests if they want a skirt that's a little bit longer.
Wow.
Then I can do that for
them. So they're
them.
getting a custom fit piece.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
that's very
for me
cool.
it's less waste, and you know, you're
Yeah.
not using up like all your fabric and then have stock sitting around.
For-
Scallop skirt. Very simple, just like a little box pleat in the front.
Yeah.
And then this is from a few seasons ago. I just like went crazy with scallop detailing. So this skirt, I just added it here.
Cool thing, because that's something that a home sewist could add to
Yeah.
different patterns. It's a way to kind of hack a pattern
Exactly.
and kind of slowly get into the idea
Exactly.
of drafting something.
All you gotta do is just like change the shape of your pocket opening and do the same on your facing,
Yeah.
obviously.
Really great.
But yeah, it's an easy thing to do.
Amazing. And that blue skirt,
Yes.
I am
So
so
this is
crushing on that.
Our Mary skirt, let me see here, which I cut out of a tencel fabric.
Okay.
So it flows super nice.
Yeah.
And it's got the same pocket detailing as the beehive jacket.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So
And are those cut in line, or are they a little bit forward? the
these
pockets?
are cut in line, but because the fabric is so drapey,
Uh-huh.
it sort of like protrudes a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just got like a nice sort of hanging. When it's on your body,
Yeah.
it sort of like lays a little bit flatter, but yeah.
And I like, again, you've got a tiny little detail there at the waist.
Yeah, I love doing like those little details that just make it special, right?
Mhm.
And then of course the front button placket, which is not super fun to sew, but that's okay. And then elastic at the back, because
Yeah.
who doesn't love an elastic?
I totally do. Honestly, well, as I told you, I haven't sewn a buttonhole yet, so I
Yeah.
like black. I like elastics. I noticed on your website that you talked a lot about sustainability, etc. So
Yes.
tell me about that.
Yeah, so going back to having seen all those factories in China,
Mhm.
I just wanted to find a way to reduce waste and sort of have an eco-friendly label without it being sort of hippy-dippy.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, because it does
On
have
trend and
yeah,
fashion
so
forward.
more modern styles with less waste. So most of the fabrics I use are organic, or they're sustainable fibers, which I'm getting more into using linen, because that is like one of the best fibers. Flax breaks down easily and all that stuff. And then I use dead stock.
Yeah.
So if I find something that's really beautiful, that's I think people would love and care for, then I don't mind using if it's a different fiber.
Yeah. And then tencel, you said too?
Tencel is also great. I use tencel. The one thing about organic and eco-friendly fabrics is there's not a lot of fancy options.
Right.
So tencel kind of has that more dressy vibe.
Yeah.
But it's still eco-friendly.
And do you ever shop here in Toronto? Do you have any like favorites that you can share with us, or do you mostly order online from wholesale?
I mostly order online for wholesale.
Yeah.
But I do shop locally.
Yeah.
So that's another thing with doing the custom order fabrics. I have customers that will say, I want some black denim.
Right.
So I'll head downtown to Queen and Spadina area.
Mm-hmm.
So some of my favorites, secret spots.
Yes, please.
So Affordable Fabrics is great if you're looking for knits.
Okay.
They've got every kind of color imaginable.
Oh, amazing.
So that's a great spot to go to. They also have a lot of linen options. And then I love World Sewing Center. If you've been there before, you know it's a little bit crazy in there.
Right.
Floor to ceiling fabrics and not always super helpful staff.
Right.
But
I actually have heard that.
Yeah, but once they get to know your face, they'll be more helpful.
Right. That
But
usually happens.
yeah, that's where you can get your threads, zippers, notions, and if you go in the back, you can find some really good knits at a great price.
Oh, okay.
And they also have linens there and odds and ends. They often have dead stock, because I think they just buy from jobbers and just kind of...
Yes. We learned about that last week in our interview with Michelle.
Oh,
I'd never heard the word
yes.
jobbers before.
Yeah.
So looking around your fabrics.
Yes.
And so you're saying that you use Nanny Eero in some of your designs.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
who doesn't love Nanny Eero?
Yeah. Do you do mostly the cotton line or also the double gauze?
The double gauze, if I can get it. That's usually the one I'll go for first.
Yeah.
Just because I love how it washes. It's a little bit heavier. So you don't necessarily have to line it. But I do also use it as a detail. So
yes.
depending
like
on the
t-shirt.
print. Yeah, exactly. This light. But yeah, so if you've got just like smaller pieces of fabric that are super special, you could just use it as a shoulder piece or in a yoke or...
Yeah. And do you have to do anything different when you're sewing the jersey to the cotton?
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a challenge.
Is it?
So I would recommend like doing maybe a practice one first.
Yeah.
Because you might have to tweak your pattern piece and make the woven area a little bit bigger.
Okay. And did you need to gather the armhole at all? I thought
so. I didn't need to gather it, but I use just like it's not a binding, but it's just like a jersey edge that I stretch as I sew.
Yes.
So it does end up like gathering it a bit, but when you're wearing it, it's flat.
Right.
And another little trick if you're sewing woven to stretch is to cut it on the bias.
Okay.
So that your woven fabric has a little bit of give. Right?
I love that. I love that tip. That's
so
a good
you're
one.
not like super stiff and then like
Yeah.
flowy. It's a cotton lawn bow print. And it's just so nice. But I love this piece because it's just simple.
Yeah.
If you're like building a capsule wardrobe for yourself, it's
Yeah.
just an easy piece.
Yeah.
And then I use the selvage
I was
going to
say, is that the selvage? I love that.
Because if you've bought Nanny Eero fabric, you know it's very narrow.
Yes.
And part of that narrow bit is the selvage is so wide.
Right.
So if you want to maximize, just like use it as a detail.
And do you make your bias tape yourself, and you just how do you do that?
Yeah. So this is actually a silk organic cotton bias.
Yeah.
So I just use fabric that I have most of the time.
Yeah.
And just, if you don't know how to make bias,
yes,
I'm sure there's lots of
videos.
tutorials.
Yeah. But you use a silk blend. That's interesting.
Yeah, for this one I use, because the fabric is so special, I just want everything to be. So I use French seams, bias trim, and I do the bias trim so it's on the outside, so it's a nice detail.
Yeah.
But you could put it on the inside if you want to.
Yeah.
Hide it. And well, this one's
That's
another
so cool.
Nanny Eero. I had a custom order, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I will sometimes to send a link to my clients.
Okay.
For them to just look at all the fabrics.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll order the fabric in special for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
So this was a wrap dress.
Oh my gosh, how cool.
Vintage fabric, which I found at a thrift store.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that color combo.
Isn't that cute?
So cute.
I know. I think it's too weird to sell, but
yeah. Well, it's kind of fun that like if you look at your palette is classic and clean, and like there's patterns and prints and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's
too much.
Not too much.
Yeah.
And your personal stash is a little more wacky and zany.
I'm a little bit wilder than my client, I think.
Yeah. How would you describe your ideal client or the person you're designing for?
So it's usually someone who's a professional, sometimes on the creative end of things. Over 25, typically.
Yeah.
And actually my client is sort of like growing with me.
Yes.
So I've had customers from like the beginning. I used to make a lot of things out of like vintage Japanese fabrics. And so they've sort of like grown with me now. So yeah, it's usually a woman that's likes classic things, likes to buy things that will last for a long time.
Yes.
That they can wear season after season and not have to worry about it going out of style.
Yes, for sure.
I really try to stay away from like trends as much as I can.
Well, and then it's worth the investment because you wear it year after year.
Exactly. If you're going to buy a handmade piece for $200, you want it to last for a long time. Yeah. I totally get that.
Yeah. So right there, is that the linen from...
Yeah. This is a beautiful linen.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
This is from a wholesaler.
Yeah. It's 100%.
100%. And this is the unwashed, but the skirt that we showed you earlier, that's after wash.
It's much more softened.
Yeah.
And do you treat your linen in any specific way or suggest anyone do anything specific to it or no?
I usually throw all my fabrics in the washer dryer before I cut them.
Okay.
So, and that also goes with my aesthetic a little bit, that I want things to look a little bit worn in. So I feel like if you're gonna like accidentally throw it in the washer dryer at some point, you may as well do it before you sew it.
Totally agreed. Nothing can live in my house if it can't go in the washer dryer. There's just no point.
So just do it. Even silks, like I throw everything in the washer dryer, and however it comes out. If you're, if you spent a lot of money, maybe test it out first. So a small piece. But usually I just toss it in there.
I actually just put a silk T-shirt that I got at J. Crew several years ago. It ended up in the washer by accident because of my husband.
Ooh, yes.
It's totally fine. It's totally fine.
Silk is not as like precious as people treat it.
Yeah.
And actually have one this is silk hemp organic cotton. And I've just thrown this in the washer dryer and it's great.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So that's the tencel.
Wow.
Which I love.
Yeah.
Like I said, it drapes so nicely.
Yeah, I'm in love with that.
Yeah, and again, I just throw it in the washer dryer.
Yes.
And then I sew it up.
Yeah. Are you then looking for a fabric to match your pattern, or do you find a fabric and then...
I start with the fabric.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
I can totally understand that.
Yeah, so for me, fabric is like the most important thing, and I think for customers too. When you're shopping, the first thing people do is feel it.
They do.
Right?
For sure.
So if your fabric is polyester and feels like you're going to sweat in it, you're probably not going to buy it.
Yes.
Right?
That's
right.
So
that's a tip for sewing too. The more natural fabrics you use, the nicer I feel things turn out.
Yeah. This is the lining for that linen coat.
The jacket.
Yeah. Very cool.
It's so nice.
And you said you got this at an old shop that you know of?
Yeah. So because I'm originally from Manitoba, there's a lot of secret spots there too. This one has closed down now. It was called Mitchell Fabrics, and it was a family business. It was in business for over 70 years, and they had a basement full of vintage fabrics. So I used to go in and just like pilfer through everything and buy it all.
Yeah. That is. I love that you use that. Like I don't know that my brain would have gone to, let's pair that with gray linen into, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I love that your brain went there. That's awesome. So creative.
Sometimes it's got to be about the inside, If it's very simple on the outside, you need a little pizzazz on the inside.
Agreed. Totally. Like, one big thing in the home sewing community is very much body positivity, and a lot of people start to sew because nothing in the store fits them, and they feel like the industry is telling them that their body isn't right and doesn't fit, but really it's just, I love that people just send you their measurements and you make them something that's beautiful and perfectly proportionate. So tell me about, I noticed the models on your site appear to be real people.
Yes.
So tell me about that and how that came to be.
So I love using just like regular people. I think it helps shoppers when you're shopping online to see someone that might have your body shape, or if not, like a different body shape, because let's face it, we all do not fit into a sizing chart.
Right.
And as a designer also, it's really difficult to put that sizing chart together. So like deciding on your size range and, you know, going like, well, how big should I go? What waist measurement should a large be?
Right.
It's different from brand to brand. So for me to use just regular people, and I really started, I asked my cousin to model for me, and then I had a client come by and I was like, oh, you're like the perfect extra large, so
yeah, for sure.
How about you do some modeling for me?
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, do I recognize the side of the car wash there?
Yes.
Yeah. That blue wall, I was like, I know that blue wall.
Oh, that blue wall is gorgeous.
It's fabulous and gets great lighting too.
Yeah.
And so what advice would you have for someone who maybe wants to turn their passion for sewing into a career?
Well, I'd say you need to do a lot of research to start. Just like getting your business license and all that stuff, it's a lot to think about, but there's a lot of resources online. So start by doing research. And then as far as starting a clothing business, it's definitely doable. There's a lot of preparation involved. So start small.
Right, that's good advice.
Yeah, get your basic, decide on like however many styles you want. Start it sort of smaller, less fabrics. Don't go crazy with too many fabrics, because you will get into trouble where you have to stock a ton of fabric, and it's very expensive when you start.
So you guys, look what Michelle has pulled out of her stash to do as a giveaway. This is so cool. Tell me about this.
So this is, like I said, I used to do stuff out of vintage Japanese kimono fabrics.
Oh, wow.
And so I have stuff that I just don't use anymore, and it's so beautiful. Oh. And I'd love for one of your viewers to make something awesome out of this.
Oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. Thank you. This is so cool. Look at that color.
Yeah.
And I think we have enough here. We're going to divide it into two.
Yeah. And maybe I have some more that I could
Oh my gosh, you're
share.
so sweet.
It's giveaway time. I have 5 lengths of kimono fabric to give away. 2 lengths from the one you saw in the video, and 3 more from another fabric that is actually at home. I'm in Seattle right now, in case you guys don't know. I'm away on vacation in Seattle. So I can't show you the second one right now, but they are all kimono fabrics from Michelle's stash. So what I need you to do is I need you to go over to Michelle's Instagram feed and follow her and leave her a comment. She's going to post about our video here. And then of course, please like this video and comment below, and subscribe if you haven't. I make videos once, sometimes twice a week. They're going to be coming up at a quicker pace now. I've got lots of plans coming up, and I look forward to sharing all my sewing plans with you. You have 1 week to enter the giveaway, and after that, I'll be sending off the fabric. And yep, you can enter no matter where you are in the world. I'm really happy to send it. No matter where on earth you are, I'm happy to send you fabric and make you happy. Have a great day. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.